Hi class, future literary critics. We're diving into creative nonfiction today. Think of it as a spy mission. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to figure out how to deconstruct these powerful true stories, how they work, why they make us feel things, and how to present your findings in a way that blows everyone away. This isn't just about reading, it's about becoming a literary detective. So we're going to discuss about analyzing and presenting a creative nonfiction text, a guide to understanding, analyzing, and presenting a creative nonfiction work. Nonfiction. Creative nonfiction combines literary techniques with factual content, using storytelling to present real life experiences. Examples: memoirs, autobiographies, travelogues, reflective essays, and personal narratives. The core idea here is that creative nonfiction is where the literary techniques of fiction meet factual content. It's a delicious hybrid. It has to be true, but it must also be beautifully written. Think of it this way: anyone can write down a list of things they did today, but a great creative nonfiction writer takes that day, uses vivid imagery, and builds suspense, turning a mundane experience into an epic, relatable short story. And every word is still true. For example, have you ever read an amazing, deeply personal article about a struggle with anxiety or navigating a difficult family situation? That's creative nonfiction. The experience is real, but the way they describe the lump in their throat or the silence at the dinner table, that's the creative part. The goal is to make truth feel like art. Choosing a creative nonfiction work. Step 1. Select a creative nonfiction work that resonates with you. This could be from online sources, magazines, or books. Choose a piece that interests or inspires you. The first step in any successful analysis is finding material you genuinely care about. Step 1 is selecting a work that resonates with you. Don't pick something famous just because it's famous. If you love basketball, find a powerful creative nonfiction piece about a famous game winning shot and what it felt like to take it. If you're passionate about climate change, find a scientist's personal narrative about the research. Why is resonance so important? Because analysis requires digging deep. If you're bored, your analysis will be boring. If the piece inspires you, your presentation will be electric. You're looking for that piece that makes you feel a genuine connection. Thorough reading of the work. Step 2. Read the work thoroughly. First reading, focus on understanding the content. Second reading, pay attention to deeper themes and ideas. Third reading, look for any subtle elements or hidden meanings. This is where you put in the real work. The step 2 is a three-pass reading strategy. You can't just skim once. Think of it like watching an intense, complex series for the first time. First pass, the plot. You're following the basic facts. What happened? Who are the people? What is the main subject? The second pass, the theme. Now you're looking for the why. What is the message? What universal truth is the writer trying to convey about life or humanity? This is where you grab your highlighters. The third pass is the style. This is the advanced level. You're asking, How did the writer make you feel this way? Look for that one perfect metaphor, that powerful sentence structure, or the unexpected word choice. These subtle elements are the writer's secret weapons. Content analysis. Step 3. Analyze the content. What is the work about? Identify the main subject or theme. What is the writer telling you? Consider the message, insight, or personal reflection the writer wants to convey. Once you've read it 3 times, you get to step 3. This is the core of your presentation. You need to distinguish clearly between the subject and the message. The subject is the topic. For instance, the writer talks about moving to a new city right before college. The theme or the message is a takeaway. The writer is telling us that change is terrifying, but it also forces us to discover our own resilience. The best creative nonfiction isn't just a report of facts, it's a delivery system for insight. When you analyze, try to summarize the entire piece in one powerful, universal sentence. That is the true message. Form and structure. Next, we move to step 4. Analyze the writer's technique. Creative nonfiction form. What form did the writer use? Is it a memoir, a travelogue, a reflective essay, etc.? Why this form? Think about why the writer chose this specific form. Would the impact have been different if a different form had been used? The type of container the writer puts their truth in is a massive choice. The form fundamentally changes the focus. For example, let's go back to the new city experience. If the writer chose a memoir, they are focusing on personal growth and deep emotional memory. If they chose a reflective essay, they are using the city move as a lens to discuss a broader philosophical idea, like what defines home. The choice is always deliberate. A travelogue allows for discovery and external detail. A personal narrative emphasizes internal thoughts and feelings. Your job is to figure out why that specific form was a perfect vehicle for that truth. Stylistic elements. This is where you look at the writer's moves. Their style. Step 5. Analyze the writer's style. Storytelling techniques. What techniques did the writer use to make the story engaging? So we start with hook. How did the writer grab the reader's attention at the beginning? Did they start with a shocking line? A confusing dialogue? For instance, I knew the moment the app crashed that my graduation speech was gone forever. That creates instant engagement. Next, pacing. Was the interest maintained throughout the piece? Did they speed up the action during a crisis and slow down for a quiet emotional moment? Good pacing is what keeps you hooked until the very last sentence. Conclusion. How did the writer conclude the work? Was it impactful? Did they just summarize? Or did they just leave you with a final echoing thought? The best creative nonfiction conclusions don't wrap up everything neatly. They often open up a new universal question for the reader to carry away. Creative nonfiction techniques. Here are a few of the creative nonfiction techniques: imagery and description. How did the writer create vivid pictures? Imagery is very crucial. Instead of saying, the party was loud and crowded, A creative nonfiction writer says, "The bass vibrated in my teeth, and the air hung thick with the smell of spilled soda and regret." Which one makes you feel the scene? Next, dialogue. Did the writer use conversation effectively? Dialogue in creative nonfiction has to sound real, but also has to move the story. A short, sharp exchange between friends can tell us more about their underlying conflict than 3 pages of description. Next, reflections and insights. Were there moments of personal insight that made the piece relatable? Reflections, this is the creative nonfiction gold. These are the moments when the narrator steps out of the action to say, "And it was only then, standing in line for my license, that I realized I had been chasing my parents' dream, not my own." These moments of insight are what transform a simple story into a profound experience. And now for the feedback loop. Step 6. Overall impression of the work. Reflect on the work's overall impact. How did the work make you feel? Did it evoke emotions such as empathy, nostalgia, or curiosity? What was the writer's purpose? Was the goal to inform, entertain, inspire, or provoke thought? Did the work fulfill its purpose? Assess whether the piece achieved what it set out to do. If the writer's purpose was to inspire you to make a change but you just felt confused, then the work may have missed its mark. If the purpose was to provoke thought about social media privacy and you spent the rest of the day deleting old posts, then it absolutely succeeded. Your job as the analyst is to connect the writer's techniques back to the purpose. If they used vivid, painful imagery, it was likely to make you feel intense empathy. See the cause and effect? That connection is the key to a strong analysis. Your analysis isn't complete until you add yourself to the equation. Step 7 is your personal response. Discuss your personal response. Did the piece resonate with you on a personal level? How did it influence your own thinking or emotions? Did it inspire you to explore the subject more deeply? You've analyzed the writer's craft. Now you analyze your own reaction to it. Did the essay about managing a part-time job while studying make you feel less alone? Did a reflective essay about leaving home inspire you to call your family? This isn't just about saying "I liked it" or "I disliked it." It's about articulating how the author's true story connected with your true experience. This personal angle is what makes your final presentation unique and powerful. We've done the hard work. Now for the grand finale, presenting the work. Step 8, the artistic presentation. Preparation, summarize your analysis and thoughts. Engage your audience, use visuals, quotes, or readings from the work. Discussion points. Be ready to discuss your perspective and the work's meaning. You're presenting a piece of art, so your presentation should feel like an experience. The power quote. Start with the single most impactful line from the text. Read it out loud with dramatic pause, and then tell the class, "This sentence right here is what hooked me, and here's why." Use visuals. If the piece is about the quiet isolation of online schooling, don't just use a picture of a laptop. Use a visual that captures the feeling of isolation. Maybe a dark, empty room with a single glowing screen. Be the expert. You know this piece inside and out. Be ready to defend your analysis of the form, the style, and the impact. Be confident, be prepared, and make us feel the power of the truth you chose. Conclusion: Importance of reading thoroughly, analyzing both content and technique, reflecting on the work style and overall message, presenting your analysis creatively and effectively. Remember, a strong piece of creative nonfiction, like any good book, always leaves a blank for the reader to fill in. The writer gives you the truth, but the real power is what you do with it. Your analysis is what fills in the blank for your audience and for yourself. Any final thoughts on how analyzing truth through art can change our perspective? Alright, that is it. Thank you, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye for now.